Great. It's on you guys. Shoot for it. Let's go.
What have you been impressed with from the linebacker room so far this spring?
The way they playing the game. They're playing the game with a lot of confidence right now. They're flying around. They're enjoying each other's company. And a lot of guys are learning, but they're starting to get in a groove of really adjusting each other and playing multiple positions. Lundy has done a tremendous job with the guys in the rooms. And getting Omar back is really the last 2 weeks has been really fun to watch. The growth of Blake has been tremendous. You know, he's having a lot of confidence. He's starting to make all the calls now. And the things that guys are challenging in the room, and told him like they're going with us. I'm not making any calls, you make them. And he had accepted, yeah, I'm gonna make them. And so that's a good thing. Crier's doing a wonderful job too, being physical, being a guy that can make all the checks, communicate with guys, get us lined up. It's been tremendous, you know, for what he's came in and done. And then now we're looking at DeMarco Ward, was a guy that, you know, didn't play much last year, was kind of red-shirted. But if you look at him now, the way he's being physical, chasing the football. He missed some days, but he come back today. He was really back on beat, being DeMarco, doing all the things we need to get done. And really excited about the group and Murphy coming in and you know, learning what he's done the last week. He's been doing really well. The two freshmen are the two freshmen. They playing hard and doing all the things they need to get done, but they're ways away. But you know what? We'll get them going in this off season and things like that, and the guys are doing a tremendous job with them.
Justin Crier was kind of someone who came in here very quickly, like right at the beginning of fall camp. Where have you seen him take his biggest jumps coming into year two?
Year two, just understanding what needs to be done and understanding the verbiage and things, not the verbiage, but just playing. You know, Justin come from a system where you was a lot of gap conscious. You don't move, you stay in this system, you stay here. And we're kind of attack defense. Like you may see something, go get it. Don't sit and wait for it. And that was the one thing he had to adjust to. And then coming back like the last maybe four games of the season, he started to pick it up. And then coming back this spring, he's been tremendous. Been very physical, running through gaps, shooting plays, making plays, doing a tremendous job in pass coverage. You know, because that was something that they wasn't used to doing. He wasn't used to doing because he was a spot drop to the hash, drop to the middle of the field, and we're more of a matchup team. And he's really done a tremendous job for that.
You lost 2 players to the NFL draft from your room. Outside of DJ Lundy, it's a very young room. Who's been stepping up into the leadership role outside of Lundy, really?
All of them. I mean, it was a room like that last year. You know, DeLoach and Tatum, I think, did a tremendous job with Lundy last year, making them understand the importance of taking notes in the room, being able to speak, talk, communicate, and don't ever accept just mediocrity. And when you come back this spring, you know, where it was, the guys came back and they was on each other, you know, and that's something that the guys was doing last year. So I think that the leaders will come by their playing time and what they do. And, you know, D'Lo and Tatum wasn't a rah-rah type guy. They wasn't. They just show by the actions. And that's what these guys have to do, show by the actions and play the game.
What have you seen from the newcomers in Parrish and Hickman-Collins?
Freshmen coming in, they got ability, they do some good things. The first couple of weeks they was struggling. That was part of it. But now they've picked up on things and improved in the run game on things that they couldn't do 2 weeks ago. In the pass game, didn't understand it, now they understand it. So the more that they can keep learning and keep competing and keep picking up the system, the more times that they can help us be successful.
Do you kind of feel like there's a sense of identity of that linebacker room so far, or you're still kind of...
Always have an identity. I mean, the guys, they love playing each other. I mean, that's the one thing, it's competition. There's nobody really have a job in that room. That's one thing I'll never do. If you notice last year, I always switch guys up in the game. Same thing now in practice. You got to switch guys up and see who's the next guys who can communicate with each other, work with each other, and that can compete with each other. And they don't make a difference of who's in the game, as long as we're going out there and playing the game hard with each other. That's all that matters.
When NFL teams call you about Kalen DeLoach, what's your message or your...
Very smart guy, very smart, loves the game, very competitive, and just a playmaker. He's a guy that can do a lot of different things for you. And you know, a lot of people look at his size and everything else. There's been some, you know, 215 is a good size. You know, he needs to probably get up to 220 on that level, 222, something like that. But a guy who runs that fast and he's not afraid. If everybody watched me, he got off blocks, you know, and did those things for us and made a lot of plays. So I think it's all about making plays and what fits your system. I don't know what system he'll fit in for the NFL, but somebody will take him up and fit what he does.
Coach, what do you think people are going to take from the showcase on Saturday and what you see?
I don't know. Everybody's different. Everybody takes something different from showcases. And, it's just for us to go out there and execute, have fun, and enjoy it. I mean, it's another chance you get a chance to play football, something that you enjoy. And that's what we'll do when it comes to Saturday.
Now we're through like 14 practices. What has Sean Murphy kind of brought new to the room?
It wasn't nothing new. And when you come to that room, it's not a new. You got to come in and be competitive. I mean, or you won't have a chance to be a part of what we're trying to get done. And everybody that we're bringing to this program is here to take the next man's job. And people say, well, that's not right. No, it is right, because if you go into a mindset of I'm coming in to compete against someone, no matter what happens, that guy got to compete hard. He's got to keep his job, then it makes you a better football player. And then if something happens with injuries or something happened in the game, that guy will be ready to play. If you're going and accept that, okay, well, we're going to wait 2 years to get this guy ready, you won't be successful. You won't be able to build a depth. You won't be the continuity in your football team. You got to make sure you bring guys in, and you got to coach guys like they're the next guy. You always got to treat them like you're the starter. If you don't do that, the guys will just fall into the trap, and it's something that I won't do in the staff.
I gotta say, we talked about Juice Cryer coming in later last year. When he was out there, he looked pretty ahead of schedule, like mentally just processing the game. Would you agree? Like, is that something that stood up this past year when he went out there, the Orange Bowl?
Yeah, that's what I say about a 6 game a season. He was ready to roll.
Right.
And that was just something he had to do.
Would you say he's maybe ahead of where some previous linebackers you've coached were at his age mentally? That's a tough one, I know. You got to reflect a little.
It's a tough one, though. I mean, he's exactly where linebackers should be when you bring him in. I mean, you always got to, with me, I challenge myself that I always try to have everybody ready as a freshman by the 5th game of the season. That is the worst. If they get it earlier, that's great. But my goal is always the 5th game of the season. They'll be ready to play, ready to step in, because you start getting that, the first quarter of the season, you start getting injuries. Like, last year, Tatum got a little mixed, and then Blake and Cryer had to play a lot of those games. And they stepped in and we didn't miss a beat. So you always got to have that kind of mindset.